What's up, YouTube? It has been a while, but I'm back at the desk. I want to show you something that's a little different today. This looks a little bit like, what's going on here? Well, this is a concept of a notebook, kind of productivity journal that's ever evolving, that can change as you change and move as you move. And ideally, it's usually wrapped in a nice piece of leather, maybe some sort of strap covering the corners right here to keep it all nice and together, maybe a clamp like I had it on before. But this was an idea that I found on YouTube by a gentleman named Bryan Wolfmueller. Bryan Wolfmueller. Now, Mr. Wolfmueller, or should I say Pastor Wolfmueller, is a Lutheran pastor, I believe, and he came up with this idea called the Everbook, or the Notebook. It is forever there and forever evolving, or ever moving with your needs. Now, this is kind of a homemade deal here, and I'm going to show you kind of how I homemade it up together. And I took some stuff out, but this is like a folder that has been cut into pieces, as you see. I took some Filson, nice pictures from Filson magazines that I got, which I have a Filson product. I have two Filson products, and I love them. I have a cowboy vest, wool, and it is immaculate. My cost per wear is still a little bit high. I paid probably too much for it, but hopefully I'll get that down below $10 a wear. But some of you guys know what that's like. But when it comes, that sweater weather, when it gets cold out, I want to wear it all the time. And I do. Got no shame in my game. But I took some of these nice Wilson cutouts. I basically glued them on this piece of like folder divider that you would put in like a filing system. I found this neat little picture here, cut it in half, podged it in there, and then taped it on the edges. Now, this is just kind of thrown together, but this is the concept, and I tried to do this for a couple of months. And so you have these little inserts, these little miniature notebooks. It's almost kind of like a travels journal, I'd say, and I just stick it all in there. Now, Mr. Wolfmueller has been working on this for several years. I think he was working with a leather company who was taking care of him and giving him some of the leather material so you could cover your notebook in, and he was selling that, and he was selling some of the inserts as well. But I really tried to get into this. And so the basic concept is this. You have these each individual little folders. Reading list, to-do list with goals, projects, seminary at the time, your to-done list, and then you have blanks that you would use to refill these. Now, let me kind of run through this real quick. So I have a Bible reading and prayer list. Going with the Dr. Grant Horner Bible reading challenge, 10 chapters a day. Have I done that every day? No. No, I haven't. I'm disappointed in myself. Then here's my to-do list. I took out the prayer list for obvious reasons, but here's my to-do list. Year goals, this month, this week. And so as you open this up, this month, this week, I would have a little calendar insert that I took just out of a regular planner. Ripped those pages out, stuck that in here, and as if you unfold this, I have all of my schedule in this calendar. Here's some of the goals for May that I had. Lose some weight. Get some projects done. And here are the projects. Here's the projects little folder insert. Now, some ideas: house projects, water heater, new shower head and faucet, paint the house exterior, etc., etc. I had some research projects I was looking at. I had some things I wanted to do for the 1989 GT Mustang convertible, one owner, that I got from my uncle. He's bought it new in '89. Wanted to do something to that, get that thing running. And here's my little folder for my seminary stuff. I moved some stuff out, but I would just have my class to-do list. I would consult the syllabus, look at what I need to do, write those things down. And when I got all done with all that stuff, I could put it in my to done folder. I would take those little inserts out, put it in my to done folder, and then when that month was up and I wanted to reference it, I would keep it for a little bit, but after that I would take it all out and file it in whatever that month is in a file folder in my desk. If I needed to refill the to done or the to do stuff, I had my blanks in here at all times if I needed to get an extra piece for doodling or note taking or whatever the case may be. Now this just comes out of a larger dotted journal, cut down to about an A5 size, and I just keep those blanks in here so I can fill up my to do and to done folders all right here. Now this concept to me at the time was amazing. I thought this would be the answer to all of my journal and productivity needs. Don't we all do that? So I researched, I watched every video that Mr. Bryan Wolfmueller had, and I actually implemented it. I was using it, I was doing it, and then I just couldn't keep up with all the moving parts. Your mileage may vary. You might be an absolute boss at this, but I just couldn't do it. Here are the monthly inserts for the calendars that I was talking about. I would just take those out, put them in each month or whatever I was in. I think I did January, February, then I skipped a couple and went to May. Something like that. I was doing that. Here's a wish list for some Filson products. Let's just look at this, shall we? I mean, Mackinac wool cruiser. Who doesn't want one of those? Lined wool Cape Cod coat, or Cape coat. $650. Atlanta, Georgia. It just doesn't get that hot, cold down here. Look at this. $1,400 for the leather short cruiser jacket, but look at these things. It's kind of a wish list folder too, right? Oh, the wool cruiser. Oh, the lined wool Cape coat. Now that just looks comfy. I think I'd wear it. $650. But that's kind of my idea. That's kind of what I was doing. Kind of giving myself something to look forward to, something to work towards with whatever extra spending money I have. It'd be nice to have, but I just could not keep up with this. It's a great concept. I kind of keep it around. I look at it every once in a while, but I just could not continue with it. I really like my system I have now. I've got my anchor journal that I've talked about before, where I keep all of my monthly planning, all of my budgeting, all the bills and confirmation numbers, and you know, all those things, some of my passwords, if you will, here and there. But it just works for me. And don't forget a little pocket notebook. I keep this with me wherever I go. Still working on the one from October 2022, and it's now October 2023. Can you believe it? And I'll probably be finishing up with this notebook soon. And then I may even do a video of telling you how I set this up and how it actually revolutionized the way I did productivity. You know what I'm trying to say. You just got to find your own system. And I might muddle through, and we'll talk through some of these other systems. But then I have that anchor notebook that I look at and I use per year, and then I'll switch into another notebook. But it all goes to a ultimate reference notebook that I may show you later. And that reference notebook is just an analog list of books I've read, some ideas and stuff. Now, here's the other kicker. I've also, for like second brain activity, have done a Zettelkasten. I started one of those maybe a year or two ago. And if you're interested in that, drop a comment. We'll talk about those things. I may do some videos on the Zettelkasten as it's gotten traction and it's interesting to people. But this right here is not for knowledge base. This is just simply for productivity. A little bit of a journal, a to-do, and when you get it done, you get it in your to-done, and then you file it away. It's just it's a planner. It's to keep you on track. It's to keep you kind of going. And that way you don't spend money on these lavish planners and you use, you know, maybe half of it and it just goes to waste. I like this because it does go with your needs, what you're evolving to do. And each of these little inserts keeps you on track. So if you don't need to look at next month's goals, well, just take next month out. You don't need it. If you're done with these projects for 2023, take them out. You don't need them anymore. If you're done with that seminary class or that doctorate, the master's level class that you're taking, whatever, take it out. You don't need it. Put it in your to-done folder. Those are the things you got done for this month. And at the end of the month, guess what? Take this out, file it away, throw it away, or whatever. Refill with the blanks. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. I just couldn't keep up with it. Mr. Bryan Wolfmueller, hats off to you, sir. Great idea, great product. A kind of a DIY notebook, if you will, and journal / diary, whatever you want to call it. But I just could not continue on with it. But if you've made it this far into the video, I would ask you if you would please like, share, and subscribe. Tell me what you think about this. Is this something that you would do? Something that you would implement in your life? Do you have one of these Evernote books? Were you inspired by Dr. or Mr. or Pastor Bryan Wolfmueller? Great guy. Great theological concepts and things that he talks about. Deep truths and facts. I like that he's productive. And to be a high-functioning individual, you have to budget. You have to plan. I'm not very good at those things. So this is kind of my journey to finding what's best for me. So far, it's the pocket notebook along with my Anchor journal. So please like, share, comment, subscribe. Tell me what you think, and I'll see you on the next video. Stay strong.